And the power of numbers is that anything that you are saying will simply go to the dustbin. Because unless and until you show long-term results, alright, unless and until you can sort of document by numbers what you are saying. For example, you are using the POMA score, PCS score, and you are showing those numbers, unless and until you do that. What you are missing is this. The pre-operative score was E1. It came to E4. So 3 gain in E. We changed by this. This changed by this. So the change in the score on all 3 parameters is the statistics that holds. And the null hypothesis is that there is zero change. So difference in the Glasgow POMA scale, pre and post, at time this, at time this, at time this. Alright? And the 95% confidence limits of that change. इसका 3 plus minus 1 change था, positive change था. उस ग्रुप में 1 plus minus 2 change था, तो इसका मतलब वो नेगेटिव भी था. तो वो कॉन्फिडेंस लिमिट्स वो इंपॉर्टेंट है. वो कॉन्फिडेंस लिमिट क्योंकि तुम्हारी सैंपल साइज छोटी है, इसलिए दोस कॉन्फिडेंस लिमिट्स शुड बी वेरी वाइड एंड दे विल इंक्लूड द जीरो. So that will clearly show that you need a larger sample size to say. And the most important thing is that the allocation to the two systems should be random. So that on the baseline parameters of GCS, both groups are equal.
Sir, I could have gathered more cases, but because this is my after effort.
Don't excuse yourself. You can say I am planning this trial.
Right.
You can say I am planning this protocol. I have submitted my thing to the Indian Council of Medical Research and we will do a randomized control trial and prove it. है ना? पर तुम ये कहो कि साहब ये this is just a case series describing a new technique which is biologically plausible, which in its initial stages is showing good results. And we will confirm it to a randomized control trial because now I am in an institution where I am likely to get a huge number of such cases.
One question. Sir, someone asked me that what type of study is, so right now what type
of case series?
Case.
It is a case, it's not a case report.
Retrospective.
It is a case series. It's not a retrospective study. It is a prospective study. Alright? It is a prospective interventional study which is a case series. ठीक है? And it has to be followed by a randomized control trial over a sufficient sample size. Alright? I think any other suggestions that can make this paper work?
Sir, instead of the first 2 cases you talked about the conventional cases, instead of that we can go for what literature says about the conventional.
Yes. Sir, for my presentation I will read those 2 cases. This is for you to give the impression that give a basic idea. I will not start from there. I will start from my case 1, 2, 3 because those 2 cases in the first I have picked up from other hospitals where to give you the impression that what the unilateral decompressive kinetic, what the bilateral decompressive kinetic is, and what the outcome likely.
And what is that? What was the site of here? What was the site of decompressing in the first 2 cases?
First 2 cases.
Right now, where the other part.
One frontoparietal-temporal, it's basically modified trauma flare. In other, it's in a bilateral decompressive kinetic on both sides. You must have seen one patient where there is a post-shunt CT scan which shows there is a
did they open the dural?
Yeah, dural opening with the bone grafting either from the facial aorta, pericranium, or now the dural substitute are there nowadays.
Excite also the brain matter, dead tissue. The debridement.
You are not touching brain at all. Brain you are not touching because brain is coming out. Brain is squeezing like anything. Thereafter it's really very difficult to even cover with any graft or dura. So that's why nowadays the dural graft are available, so we can close it.
Is there any correlation with the outcome with the CT scan at the first CT scan? First CT scan, the amount of brain injury in your case?
No, sir. CT scan, the amount of injury, what we are seeing as the contusions, edema, hematoma, there are patients with the traumatic brain injury in Glasgow Coma scale is only 3, that is E1, M1, B1.
You have not understood the question. The question is, the answer is, there is no documentation which will quantify the radiological damage to the brain on a CT scan.
Like diffuse external.
That's what I was coming to that side. That's why I was saying patient is E1, M1, M1, but on CT or MRI you will say this is a normal CT scan. So that's the reason. Where this is the thing where we can say that this is diffuse axonal injury. We can pick up something in MRI, but not in CT scan. CT scan show you the normal CT.
Sir, one more question. What do you think is the pathophysiology of the success of this surgery? Why patient is getting benefit?
Yeah. Because as I discussed before also, like in benign intracranial hypertension, we are doing bilateral subtemporal decompression. Only the temporal bony craniectomy. You are not opening dura. In those patients, the ICP is coming down.
But here you told that with doing this surgery, the change in ICP is not there. It was documented.
Documented by others that there is no significant gain into the reduction of the ICP.
So how the patient is getting benefit?
That's what my saying is that. That's why I said that conclusion that if a study is ICP monitoring, we can say, look, the ICP is coming down. In those patients where we had opened the dura, ICP has tremendously come down to normal, but at the cost of permanent insult to the brain tissue.
Yeah.
This is not reverting back. So your patient remains altogether vegetative. We are not treating CT scan, we are not treating X-ray, we are treating patient as a whole. We are not treating ICP. We want to see the result of the patient, how the patient comes after the treatment.
Now what the answer to such a question would be? The answer, if I have to answer it, I will answer it this way. The damage to brain in the case of head injury is by pressure. Raised intracranial. In a closed space, there is more fluid, either because of edema or because of blood. But another reason why the brain can be damaged is that the pressure is asymmetrically on one side or the other side, so that there is a shift of brain. Also, since there is a supratentorial space occupying region, therefore because of the tentorial pressure, there is a shift of the hindbrain against the posterior cranial fossa. So there are three basic elements that are working in the head injury to damage the brain. Since the bony cage is taken off, the effect of these three components, which is either lateralizing or simply increasing pressure or suppressing the tentorial cerebelli, all three are likely to be reduced. Therefore, the patient is likely to benefit. Now, how much, what is happening in which patient is absolutely variable. And it also depends on when the patient came to you and when you started operating. But overall the dynamics, whatever are the dynamics of the patients coming to you, the final result would be on long-term follow-up, how was your patient? Alright? And that has to be finally scheduled by a randomized controlled trial over a sufficient sample size, perhaps done by multiple centers, so that all types of expertise comes into पिक्चर ये नहीं कि हर केस के शर्मा ने कर दिया तो मनोज का रिजल्ट क्या खराब हो गया।
Dr. Prashant, there is a tetra trial. It has on decompressive clinectomy. There is a trial which is conducted in Australia with a multicentric, with quite a good number of cases. They had a study that decompressive clinectomy as such is not helpful. Not helpful. So again, another trial is going on, which probably in 2018 they will likely to give the report of that. In a ICP monitoring tool, this raised decompressive clinectomy. Because that trial has some limitations about it. There is study for that.
एक बात ये बताएं कि if you would permit, let us try to see how much these students can reproduce what we are talking. एक इनमें से कोई भी वॉलंटियर उसके समझाने की कोशिश करे कि उसमें क्या समझे।
अभी नहीं सर, इसलिए नहीं।
You said it's a late bilateral craniotomy.
Sir,
So what are the criteria you decide you should do the craniotomy at a later question? Why don't you?
I think
Number one. Number two, 24 hours. How late is 24 hours?
I think if you go to the slide, and the first slide which I showed you, it's not that we do after 24 hours only. I have done a case in 6 hours also. It all depends on clinico-radiologically whether you when at which point of time your patient started showing the deterioration. Because if you have not picked up that patient at the right time, you will end up into a situation where the score is E1, M1, E1, there is no spontaneous respiration, and the vitals are maintained on inotrope. And they are not included in studies because that's the condition where we can say that patient is going into irreversible brain damage. One. Timing, not 24 hours. Timing depends on the clinico-radiological deterioration of the patient. Right?
When the patient comes in the casualty with a head injury,
Right.
and you are anticipating a injury or
No, not anticipating. Patient,
you are documented by CT scan and all that.
right?
Then you will do this bilateral craniotomy
No,
or
no. What I'll do, I'll prefer to raise down the ICP result and then to